And then verse 2 describes we're introduced to some additional characters in the family. It came to pass that I, Abraham, took Sarai to wife, and Nahor, my brother, took Milcah to wife, who was the daughter of Haran. Haran is the third brother of Abraham. So you're going to find that now that the narrative slows down a little bit and starts fleshing things out, you're going to get more detail about some of the relationships, as we just saw in verse 2, with Nahor marrying Milcah, who's the daughter of Haran, his brother, so this would be his niece. How do these family relationships work in the way we label them in antiquity? Because in English, we have all kinds of words to show various familial relationships, but not always the case in antiquity.
Yeah, so it gets a little bit confusing because we'll get someone who's said to be a mother or a daughter or a sister, but there aren't words and we don't know exactly what Abraham is speaking, but in any of the languages that are potential things he's speaking, there's not a word for aunt or niece and so on. And so you just say if it's an older female relative, it's mother, and this works for men as well. Older male relative, it's a father. If it's someone of the same generation, so cousins, second cousins, third cousin, twice removed, that's a sister or a brother. And younger generations, nephews and nieces, whatever else, those would be children or sons or daughters. And so when we talk about Sarah being his sister, there's some sources that make it seem like she really is his half-sister, but it's not, we can't nail it down really precisely, but she's some kind of close relative along that same generational line, that kind of horizontal line, so she would be correctly referred to as sister. It's the only word you can use to describe her.
Now, let's shift gears and go fairly quickly through some of the elements of this story. We come down into Egypt. Sarah apparently is very good-looking, and Abraham's concerned. When we get here, they're going to kill me so they can marry you. So you get this interesting little interlude in this story where verse 13 says, "Say, I pray thee, that thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee." And a lot of people are a little bothered by that because they would say, well, it looks like he's lying. But based on what you've said about names of relationships, it would tie in.
Yeah, they're just choosing which part to emphasize. And I think it's also key in the book of Abraham account, it's actually God who instructs it. He's the one that comes up with the ideas as opposed to Abraham, and that's also a little bit of a game changer. So
absolutely.